I'm Marianne, otherwise known as 𝑤𝒂𝒏𝒏𝒆 on Instagram. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm just about to start baking because I have some bananas that are screaming, use me, bake me up. I'm at the end of my life. So they want to be baked into a bread, a muffin, something. So I am making banana blueberry muffins. I found this recipe on Instagram. Thank you to _slimdowns_AMMI who posted this recipe. I'm baking this for the first time. It's supposed to make 12 muffins, regular sized muffins at 1 smart point each. I did put this recipe into the WW app to make sure that they are 1 smart point, and they are. And it's a few ingredients. I'm going to adapt it a little because her recipe did not call for any baking powder. And since it didn't have self-rising flour in it, I feel I want to add baking powder to get more of a rise out of my muffins. I'm also going to add more blueberries than it calls for. She said 1/4 cup, and that's not enough blueberries for me. So my oven is preheating at 350 degrees while I prepare the batter. You're going to need a 12-cup muffin tin, and I'm spraying my muffin tin with some canola oil cooking spray. Okay, these are the ingredients that you will need. Don't worry, I'm going to list this out at the end of the video. I type it all out. I put a frame of ingredients and instructions, so all you have to do is pause the video, take a screenshot, or write it down. Very easy. You don't have to write it down as I go through this. So what you're going to need are 2 ripe bananas and a cup of Kodiak Cakes Power Cake Mix. This is a waffle or pancake high protein mix. Then a 1/4 cup of oatmeal. I'm using the Quaker Oats instant oatmeal. I'm sure you can use old-fashioned. A cup of unsweetened almond milk. A splash of vanilla. I'm adding the baking powder, like I said, because I like to add baking powder for more of a rise when I bake. And then blueberries. I have frozen blueberries because I think when the fruit is frozen, it stands up better when you mix it. It doesn't get all mushy. So that's all the ingredients that you need. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around so you can see as I add the ingredients into my bowl. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add the bananas, and they just come out very easily out of the skin. So I don't even have to mash them because they're so liquidy, they'll mix right in. So I'm just gonna stir them about. Okay, I forgot an ingredient, guys. You need 2 eggs. So thankfully, I list everything at the end of the video because I forgot to say you need 2 eggs. So I'm gonna go ahead and crack the 2 eggs into the bowl. Oops, and I've got a piece of shell in there. There we go, got that out. Went fishing. So 2 eggs, 2 bananas. There we go. And make sure I have no shells. Yeah, no shells. Perfect. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and add the cup of Kodiak Cake Mix. I keep mine in a baggie just to keep it fresh because it's something I don't use all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and measure out 1 cup. That goes in. And then since I have the cup measuring out, did I say cup measurer? Is that correct? Measuring cup out. That's correct English. I'm going to add a cup of almond milk and then a 1/4 cup of oats. A teaspoon of baking powder. And a splash of vanilla. Okay, that's the ingredients, right? 2 bananas. I've got 2 eggs. I've got the baking powder, the vanilla, the oats, the 𝒂𝒏𝒏𝒆 cake mix, and the milk. Okay, I'm ready to go. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mix this up. Slowly at first, so I don't get this all over myself or the kitchen counter. And I'm doing this by hand. I do most muffin recipes by hand except for my walnut banana muffins from Hungry Girl. I do those in the blender because they're blender muffins. Okay, one more ingredient, my blueberries. I've got to go grab them. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to use that 1/4 cup scoop that I had, my measuring cup. I'm going to be using that to put into my pan. I am always messy at this. It gets all over my pan that I have to end up wiping it off. But you know what? I see other bakers do that when I am watching the Food Network. If a professional chef gets it messy, I can get it messy. And one more. Yep, this does make 12 muffins. So these are ready to be popped into my 350-degree oven. I'm gonna clean that off. And this will cook for 15 to 20 minutes. So let me go ahead and put these into the oven. Okay. Popping these in, I'm going to set the timer for, I have it on convection, so I'm going to start with 13 minutes. And we'll see how it goes. My muffins are ready. I added an extra 4 minutes of baking time. I thought 13 minutes would be enough on convection, and it wasn't. So when the recipe said bake 15 or 20 minutes, yeah, you have to bake 15 or 20 minutes. Here's what they look like. They are not as risen as I thought they would be, which surprises me because I added baking powder and the recipe didn't call for baking powder. So let me pop one of these out. I'm gonna cool them in the tin, ouch, that's hot, for 5 minutes before I put them on a wire rack. And here is what the muffin looks like. This is hot. So it has blueberries throughout. It's not as tall as I would like a muffin. I'm putting it down because it's hot. Let me break off a piece. There we go. Let me taste it too. I'm gonna break off a little. Wow. These are really light and fluffy. Good flavor. I love the blueberries in it. It's really, I don't taste a lot of the banana. I taste more blueberry, but they're light and fluffy. Next time I'm gonna add more baking powder. So if you're going to make the recipe, I said I put in 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I might increase that another ½ teaspoon to a full teaspoon. So I will write that in the instructions or the ingredients. I'll say 1 to 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And I also think next time I would add sucre and gold brown sugar because I love this stuff. And I think that would add a depth of flavor and a little more sweetness. But these are a keeper, definitely. 12 regular size muffins, only 1 Smart Point, few ingredients. I think this is a delicious muffin, and I'll be making again with a few little tweaks like adding the baking powder and sucre and gold brown sugar. Stay tuned because the next few frames are going to be the ingredients and the instructions, so you can either pause the video and write it down or take a screenshot. Thank you so much for stopping by my kitchen and going on this little baking journey of the first time making the banana blueberry muffin. It really is good. Remember to be kind to another person every day. Ciao.